Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be taking you through Weebly, the website creator. This is the website creator that I strongly recommend you use for this course, although as I mentioned in a previous video and in the syllabus, you're welcome to use another website creator, or if you can entirely code your own website, you're welcome to do that as well. However, this is the one that I use for the course and that most of the students end up using. It's free to sign up for an account. It has a lot of useful features. It's intuitive. And it's a great way to get started with making your own website. If you want to check out information about Weebly, obviously first type in the URL. It's got features here. It's got the themes, the different themes that you can pick as your background. You can check those out. Its pricing, you could see that you can have the free account, and that if you choose to later purchase a domain name, it's actually pretty reasonable to do that, and you can turn the site you're working on now into a fully functioning .com site. This just shows you what you get when you sign up for free. Limited features, but plenty of features for what we're going to be doing in this class. When you go to sign up, really simple, pretty standard. You probably have signed up for a bunch of different things before. Nothing too new about that. And then you're going to be logging in on your future uses. So what happens when you log in is you're going to get a screen like this. Over here, you're going to see all the different websites that you have listed under this single account. So I have several because I teach a couple of different classes and I work for a nonprofit. This is what I use. You're going to simply select the one if you have multiple sites that you're working on, or add a new site. When you add a new site, it's going to prompt you to pick a theme. It's going to prompt you to pick a URL. You can wait to pick the URL. You don't have to do it right away, although by the time I need your URL, you have to pick one. You can always change that at a later date as well, and I'll show you how to do that. So whenever you pick the site you're going to edit, simply hit Edit Site. It's going to take you into that particular site. If you ever want to go back out, you're done, you want to log off, simply click this button over here. It'll take you back to that screen. Okay? If you want to change your theme at any time, simply click Theme, Change Theme. It's going to bring up all those themes we just saw a moment ago. Just be aware that I believe this is still the case. If you change a theme, it's probably going to delete your header content. The rest of your content will stay. But if you had uploaded, let's say, 5 different header images on 5 different pages and you switch themes, it's probably going to delete those pictures since the themes have kind of different sizes and variations to them. So just be aware of that. You can also change fonts here. So let's say you want to change the site title font. You can up the size, change the color, change the font. Pretty easy. Okay. So what you want to do is you're going to have several different pages on your website, and the amount of pages is really going to differ depending on what you're doing and what content you put on there. If you click on Pages, this is where you're going to add pages. This Nomad Network website is simply an example website. It's not a site that actually exists. I made this up. All the content is made up, but it's an example of the kind of thing you might want to do and the kind of designs you might want to get involved with. Clean designs, easy designs, and what's great about the new and improved Weebly is that it offers you different layouts that you can choose and just fill in. So what I'm first going to do is show you how to create a standard page and a blog page. So a standard page, you can type in, let's say this is our questions page. You can choose the header here. You can choose whether it's public or private. There's some advanced features if you want to get into that stuff. If you hide it in navigation, the page will still exist, but it won't show up in your menu. Right? So let's say I want to hide that in navigation. It no longer appears in the menu, although it still exists. Okay? Save that, and then go to Build. We've got your header. They're all going to be a little bit different. If you want to change the style of header, you can do that here. Let's say you picked the tall one at first, but you want to change it to a short header. You don't want a header at all. You want to have a landing page or a splash page. Sometimes this can be nice, a splash page for your home page. It's one I'm experimenting with right now on this particular site, but you can just add to it exactly as you would a normal page. So we're going to change that back. Let's go short header. If you want to edit that image, all you have to do is click Edit Image. It has some backgrounds already, You can also upload your own image. And once you do that, let's do change image. Let's go this one, select. You can zoom in and out. You can blur. Actually, let's do this. You can blur it. You can lighten and darken it. You can add a filter to it. You can save to all pages, to only this page, to selected pages. And you simply have to click on these for that. Okay. Now, for the body of each page, it's offered this really awesome new feature. It just came about in the last couple of months, where you can select different layouts for different styles of pages. Now, of course, if you wanted to use a menu page for your contact page, you of course can do that. These are just suggestions and ways to help you begin. So let's say we wanted to use this layout. We pick it. It's going to lay it out for us. We can keep it or cancel it. Let's say we keep it. And you can rearrange stuff. You don't have to keep it all. You can delete certain things. If you want to delete something, you'll see that it gets a box around it. Click the X. It asks you to delete. It's gone. Okay. This is a spacer. You can do that here. All you have to do when you add things is drag and drop. Really simple. There is no longer a specific column feature over here, but what you can do is create your own columns by dragging and dropping different things. So let's say I wanted to put 3 images up here in a row. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Pretty easy. If I want to upload an image, I just click on it. I can either drag the photo in there or upload from the computer, so it'll come up as a file. Let's say I want to do this one. That's going to upload there. Let's say I want to do this one. I could drag it and drop it. They both work just the same. Okay. One thing that I'm going to show you in a bit is looking at different sizes of pictures, looking at the size of text and how columns work. But for now, this is just kind of the basics. You can also, if you run your mouse over the lines in between columns and hold the Shift key, you can adjust the size of the columns. We've got title text here, which looks like this. The regular text, which looks like this. Again, you can delete things. You can rearrange them however you see fit. That's really up to you. Okay. A couple of features over here. We've got gallery, so if you want to add a gallery, and you can see how as I move the box, it's showing me where it's going to drop it, whether it's underneath this column or as a whole, it fills the whole screen. Really depends on where you put it. If you want to do a gallery, this is kind of a nice feature. You can highlight a couple of different items at once and upload them all at once, which is nice, and it makes it uniform. The one downfall to this is that you don't have a lot of options in terms of sizing these images. So you do have options to change the number per column, which I'll show you in a second here. Upload complete. If I want to edit it, I just click on it. Let's see here. I can change the amount of columns. Let's say I want 6 or 5 or 4. You can see how this works. I can also change the spacing between the different images. I can add captions, and it's talking about Lightbox and partial thumbnails. What it does is it takes the caption that you type in here and it runs it across the image or on a hover. So you can experiment with that. And then if you hit advanced, it'll take you through image ratio. So it can be square, a rectangle, or none. And you want to try and get similar sized images so that they all appear, you can see the whole image. Okay. There's also a map feature, which is pretty nice. If you have coding you want to do, you can use the embed code feature. I mostly use this for if I'm uploading a Google form or a Google Calendar, but if you know your own code, this is where you would do it. Dividers just adds in a nice level. I sometimes use just a screen grab of a straight line in different colors, and I'll add that as an image. You can do a contact form, all different kinds of things. Files, documents, a couple of features that are nice and that are free. Now, When you create a blog page, and this is something you'll be doing in class, please do this correctly. I hate when people do not do this correctly, and I have instructions about it all over the site. You're going to click blog page, okay? It's very important that you do that for your blog because it creates a totally different style of page. So I'm going to get rid of this header for right now just so we can see. So what you'll see is new post, blog settings, comments. When you click on blog settings, you can do the post per page, post share buttons. So if you want to add Twitter or Facebook links so it posts directly on those, you can do that. The blog sidebar, all these different things. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay. When you're adding a new post, you just click new post. You're going to put in the title. You're going to drag in your elements, whether it's text or pictures, whatever it is. Okay. When you go to post it, you can add different options. So immediately, you can do it at a scheduled time. You can have the comments open or closed or require approval, and you can add categories. This is very important. When I say tag or add a category to your post, it's so that I can find it easier and so that you can find it easier. When you create a blog page for your actual content of the site, if you do that, please use tags. It's easier for your people, your readers, your users to search information. So let's say this is the first blog post. Click on it. If I wanted to add another category, we see the one I already did is there. Let's say MSP. Now we've got these two blogs. You're going to post it. Make sure you note this right here. Your post has been added to your blog page but is not yet live. You need to publish your site for users to view your blog post. Every time you post a blog post, you must publish the entire site using this button up here. Okay? Otherwise, it won't come through. Okay. So that's the basics of Weebly. You can also look at it in terms of desktop and mobile models. I do want to take you a little bit through what I've created already, just to show you a couple of things. The splash page, I'm still working on it, not super satisfied with it. If you use an image, like in the background here, you want to make sure that it's not making your text unreadable. So this white text would probably be a lot easier to read with a black outline. Black outlines help readers read text when it's over images. Okay. This see-through right here, the transparent logo, I probably want to change that to something that's a little bit less transparent so that it's easier for users to use. My menu is up on the top. I like a nice top menu. I'm not a big fan of the side menus personally, but that is something you are absolutely welcome to use. You're going to probably want to have some kind of about page. You're going to end up making a logo, which you can decide where that goes on your site or if you use it at all. What I like to do is break up long text with images. So instead of running this text horizontal, it makes it really difficult to read for people that are going to skip right over it. I like to do it in column format, okay? Using images to help convey messages, keeping the text pretty short and sweet and to the point. You want to have your social media links somewhere on your pages, okay? If you want to add in your own sort of header or add in headers up here, that's up to you. Any kind of meet the team page. Now, you're probably not going to have a full team, but you're probably going to put yourself on there, or if you already have an organization, you might have a team there. I want you to note the uniformity of everything on this page. One thing that is my pet peeve is when people upload a variety of different sized images. So in the beginning of this video, I uploaded those two images and they didn't align. They were two different sizes. Make sure your pictures are uniform. A real easy way to do this is Lunapic. It's a free online editor, just some online editor. You can upload a photo, and then in Edit you can resize the image. On an image, if you click on it, hit Command-I, at least on a Mac, it's going to show you the size of the image. This one's 610 by 610. So if you want all your images to be that size, you're going to upload them and resize the image to those dimensions. That's going to be very helpful. Okay. Also, something that helps to make a site look uniform is if the text ends all on the same line here. So you see how this text, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So then there's 5 lines on all the other ones, right? I have things centered in a certain way. Sometimes the centered text is not going to be what you want. You want it to be left aligned or right aligned. You want things to look fairly uniform, okay? Okay, let's check out some of the other pages. The contact page, pretty standard type of page. You're probably not going to have this type of information or a map, but you might. You might want to use one of these forms. What you can do is link this to your actual website. And you're going to be, sorry, not website, email address. You're going to be creating an email for your cause anyway, so you can link that there. Other basic kinds of pages, what services your organization might offer or resources for different things. What you want to do is when you have your menu, you want to keep the drop-down menu to a minimum. Now, of course, on our site, I don't do that since there are many, many, many lessons and all different kinds of things. But for your purposes, you want to keep this pretty simple. You might even want to hide these in the navigation as long as you have links on this page. So for this particular thing, this Nomad network, I said, well, we have a food exchange and a clothing donation and medical care. What I would do is link these buttons. So the button comes from over here, drag and drop. You can change the text, the style. If you want to link it, and this works for pictures as well, pretty much anything on the site, including text, you can either do a website URL. I recommend you open the link in a new tab so that people are not navigating away from your site. They can always come back. Or you can link it to another page on your website. So I have it linked to Food Exchange. You can open another tab or not, save it, and that's going to take you there when you're on that page. Again, you see I'm using the columns, I'm using something very uniform. I have the images ending on all the same lines, they're about the same size. You can put a border on images. So if you click on image, you can edit it, you can crop it, rotate it, these, different effects, right? Or you can align it, add spacing, you can add a border and a border color. It's pretty simple stuff, gray and black, thin, not thin. So there's not a whole lot of options, but certainly enough to make the site look professional, right? Okay, when you have these additional pages, again, it's important to keep them uniform. If you have a lot of text, a lot of information you want to convey, you're probably going to set it off with an image or something else on one side or the other. Again, uniform images make for a very professional looking site. Uniform fonts, uniform endings of text, right? You want to have the same things across the board. If you want to link out to different places, that's a really great resource. So if I'm promoting different places that donate to me, I want to promote them. I want to connect to their site. I want to show people where it is so that they can pay back to those companies, right? You can also add your social media icons in on any page, and you can do that with this button right here. Just drag and drop that. Back to the menu. For the clothing drive, if you're doing anything with clothing or anything with any kind of donation drive, you're really going to want to tell people where it's happening, when it's happening, and what kinds of items you're going to accept. So I especially recommend this for any kind of clothing drive you do, any kind of sneaker drive, any kind of donation aspect. Here's examples of the kinds of things we collect. Here's how we describe them. Here's the kinds of things we're not going to collect. For this, I just used the gallery feature. What I would go back and do probably is take these images and redo the dimensions so that they don't get cut off. You can see how the tip of the shoe gets cut off. You want everything to be nice and uniform. All right. This was the questions page we came up with. Remember, when you have images like this that are two completely different sizes, it really throws off the reader, right? You want to keep everything very uniform. So that's the basics. This is a site I'm going to post a link to on our own class website so that you can come back to it, take a look at it. But really, the website creation can be as difficult or as simple as you want to make it. And, sometimes simple designs are the best designs. Sometimes you're going to have something much more complex with a lot more colors if you're doing your own kinds of designs. For example, one student last semester who was doing this agnostic Bible, which is a really cool idea, he had his own graphics that he created, which I thought was really cool, right? So these kinds of things might be part of your site. You might have a lot of writing, but you want to organize it so that people on your page can find what they need when they need it very easily. Okay, so that's where we stand right now with Weebly. Again, when you're done with editing the site for the day, you just click this button over here. It takes you back to the editing page. What's cool is that you'll see, let me go to a different one here. So this is my ad class site. It shows you unique visitors, page views, all that kind of stuff. If there are blog comments, they're going to appear here. Remember that I will be making comments on some of your blogs, and this is where you can tell if that's happened, if it doesn't email you. And there's all kinds of resources on this page and on the site. You can also copy a site or delete a site. I often recommend to people at the end of the semester, if the design and the layout, the theme, they're not looking quite right, I'll tell them to copy the site, make a second copy of it, then you can mess around on the one site, try different things, change the theme, change the font, change the whole thing, and you still have that backup copy just in case you think, that didn't quite work. Right? When you're done, you can log out. Remember that if you're on a public computer, you should always log out. Otherwise, the next person to use that site is going to get right into your account. So you log out there. You also saw the support button. What's great about Weebly is that it has a great support network. It shows you a lot of different things about the product itself, right? There's a Weebly blog support center. There's a place where you can submit a request for different things. They get back to you within about 2 days, which is great. So I encourage you, again, to try to figure out the answers if you can't find them right away before you come and ask me. Usually you'll find the answer and you'll be good to go. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, but that's Weebly for now, and hopefully everything will go well for you, and I will see you next time.